So in this video, we'll be discussing topic 2.1, which is functions, and we'll be discussing the basics of straight lines. So on the left, we see a very simple graph, and the first thing we'll be discussing is how to find the gradient or the slope of any line. So let's say we have a line plotted as such on the graph on the left, and we need to find the gradient or the slope. It's the same thing. So let's say we can take two coordinates on the line. Let's say we take 4 and 3 and the origin, which is 0, 0. And we can plug this in back with the formula and show that it's 3 minus 0 over 4 minus 0. So we instantly get our slope as 3 by 4. Next, we also know that the equation of a line is y equals mx plus b when the line is linear. This is where m stands for the slope and b stands for the y-intercept. Again, very simple and basic information, and we know that the slope from the coordinates are 3 by 4 and our y-intercept is 0, which is the origin. Okay, so let's say we have a horizontal line at y equals to 5. We can say that the equation of this line is y equals to 5, and that can be represented by y equals to a. Similarly, if we have a vertical line at x equals -2, we can say that the equation of this would be x equals -2, and this can be represented by x equals to a. So let's look at an example. Let's say a line has a gradient of 1/2 and passes through the point 4, 8. We need to find the equation of the line in the form of y equals mx plus b. So we know that y equals half x plus b. We don't know the y-intercept yet. But we do know that the coordinate that it passes through is 4, 8. So we can just plug this into the equation. We can take y as 8 and x as 4. So what we can do is 8 is equal to 1/2 times 4 plus b. And then solving for b in this case, we get 8 equals 2 plus b. So we get b is equal to 6. And this is our y-intercept for that line. So the full equation would be half x plus 6. So there are three forms that we can see lines in. We just covered the first one, which is the intercept form. And now we'll look at the second one, which is the general form, which is ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. We can kind of see that y equals mx plus b is the rearranged version of ax plus by plus c, and I'll show you why. So let's say we have ax plus by plus c is equal to 0. Now what we can do is try solving for y. So that would give us by is equal to minus ax minus c. And now if we divide by b, what we would get is y is equal to -a by bx minus c by b, where -a by b is our slope, which is m, and -c by b is our y-intercept, which is b. So let's look at an example to get this a little bit more clear. Let's say we have the equation -3x plus y plus 4 is equal to 0, and we need to get this in y equals mx plus b form. We can rearrange for y and simply bring 3x and -4 to the other side and get y is equal to 3x minus 4, where 3x is the slope and 4 is the y-intercept. So now we've covered even the second form of an equation that we can have. The third and final form is called the point gradient form, and it looks like y minus y1 equals m times x minus x1. So let's say we have this red line and we have two coordinates labeled a and b. We can label a as x1, y1 for its coordinates and b as x, y. Now we know that the normal formula for a gradient is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 equals to m, because m stands for slope. Now we can substitute this for the two coordinates that we have right now and say that y minus y1 divided by x minus x1 is equal to m. After getting it in this format, we can then rearrange and bring x minus x1 to the other side, and we will get y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1, which is the form that we just saw. Okay, so the next thing we're going to discuss is parallel lines. Let's say we have these two set of parallel lines and they're labeled A and B. What we know is that line A is parallel to line B, so therefore the slope of line A is equal to the slope of line B. And we can further see this if we try and draw two imaginary triangles on each of the lines. Visually, we can even see that the slope of the line is the same, and the only thing that's different about these two lines is the y-intercept. That is the only difference in the equation of these two lines. So what we can say is LA, which is represented by line A, is parallel to L2, which is line B. So the slope of line A is equal to the slope of line B. I accidentally wrote 2, but it's supposed to be B. Next, we're going to discuss perpendicular lines. Perpendicular lines are two lines that intersect at a 90-degree angle, and they only intersect one time. If line A is perpendicular to line B, then the slope of line A multiplied by the slope of line B has to equal to -1. We can look at an example to make this a bit more clear. Let's say we have y equals to 3 by 4x plus 2, and we want to find the equation of the perpendicular line, specifically the slope. So let's say for the perpendicular line, we have y equals 2, so now we know the slope is just flipped and change the sign. So it would become -4 by 3. Again, what we did is just flipped and switched the sign, because we know that the product of the two slopes has to be -1. Obviously, we cannot figure out the y-intercept of the perpendicular line this way, because there is no such formula, but what we can do is figure out the slope. Another important thing that we need to know about perpendicular lines is, let's say one of them is horizontal. This means that the other one would have to be vertical, and because that would be the only way that the line would be perpendicular. And we know that the slope of line A multiplied by the slope of line B is equal to -1. But if one of the lines is horizontal, let's say in this case line A was horizontal, this would not be true. This is because line A is a horizontal line, and the slope of a horizontal line is 0. And similarly, the slope of a vertical line is also 0. So we cannot multiply 0 by 0 and get -1. Therefore, if one of the lines in a set of perpendicular lines is horizontal, then MA multiplied by MB is equal to -1 is not true. So let's look at an example. Let's say we have to determine the equation of the line perpendicular to the line of 2x plus 4y minus 7 equals 0 that has the same x-intercept as the line 3x plus y plus 2 is equal to 0. So the first step would be to find the x-intercept because they both have the same one. So if we can find the x-intercept of 3x plus y plus 2, that would be the first step. So what we can do is we can set y is equal to 0 to get the x-intercept. And if we do this, we get 3x plus 2 is equal to 0, 3x is equal to negative 2, so x would be negative 2 by 3. So this is the x-intercept for both the equations given. Now we need to find the equation of the line perpendicular to 2x plus 4y minus 7. So the second step would then be to take 2x plus 4y minus 7 is equal to 0 and put it in the form of y is equal to mx plus b. This is because it'll make it easier for us to find the slope of the perpendicular line. So if we do this, we can get that 4y is equal to negative 2x plus 7. If we divide by 4, we get y is equal to negative 2 by 4x plus 7 by 4. So we know the slope is y is equal to negative half x plus 7 by 4. This is the slope of the original line. So now the third and final step would be to find the slope of the perpendicular line. We know the slope of the original line is negative 1/2. So the slope of the perpendicular line, represented by MP, would have to be 2, because once again, we just flip it and change the sign, which would give us 2. Now that we have the slope and the x-intercept, we can write it in the form of y minus y1 is equal to m times x minus x1. If we have to plug in our values, we can take the coordinate of the x-intercept, and that, as we know, is negative 2 by 3 and 0. So we can plug this in for x and y. So what we can do is y minus 0 is equal to 2 times x plus 2 by 3. It would become plus 2 by 3 because x minus 2 by 3 would become plus. And as we know, m is already 2 because we found the slope. So this would give us y is equal to 2x plus 4 by 3. So 4 by 3 would be our y-intercept and 2 would be our slope. So the final equation of the perpendicular line is y is equal to 2x plus 4 by 3. So this is everything we had to cover for straight lines. Hopefully this was all just a reminder, nothing too difficult. These are just some things that we need to keep in mind when we're solving these kind of questions. Thank you, bye!